This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Become a member, join the Lesson 1 Club, and attend their annual convention, Sheep Show, Reno, Nevada in 2020. For more information, go to wildsheepfoundation.org. Hey guys, welcome to episode 120 of Rookie Hunter. I'm currently hanging out in Churchill, Manitoba. It's fucking cold up here, but I'm well equipped with Sitka gear, and I'll give you my lineup in a minute here. But I'm up here viewing and learning about polar bears. It's been a pretty awesome experience. But like I said, it is cold, so rather than just giving you one piece of Sitka gear that I'm wearing, I'm gonna give you the whole thing. So Sitka merino base layer, top and bottom. I got the Timberline pants on. Up top, I'm wearing the Core Heavyweight hoodie. Top of that, the Jetstream vest. And on top of that, the Calvin Light hoodie. And it doesn't sound like much. I think we're like minus 25, but that's keeping me pretty damn warm, surprisingly. So all of our Sitka gear and all the equipment that we're using, as you know, is up on the rookiehunter.com. Click on the gear tab. You can check it all out. And if you click on any of the pieces there, it'll take you right to Sitka's website. So go check that out. Our friends at Backbone Media have some Cyber Monday deals that they want you guys to know about. They gave us 3, but I'm just going to do 1 for today because this one is already happening. And this is more for our American listeners, the Onyx Hunt app. You guys can get 30% off on Onyx Hunt memberships from November 18th to December 2nd. All you have to do is use promo code THANKS30 at checkout. Prices for those: for premium membership, $29.99 per year, and elite membership, $99.99 per year. So if you guys want to take advantage of that deal, head over to onxmaps.com. That's onxmaps.com, and use promo code THANKS30 at checkout. And don't forget that the Sheep Show is coming up quick here, and you can get yourself signed up there. Just head over to wildsheepfoundation.org, become a member, join the Lesson 1 Club. You guys know the drill. And don't forget, North Arm Knives. Who wouldn't want to get a nice blade for Christmas? Head over to North Arm Knives and get someone you like something special for the holiday season. Well, guys, on this episode, we're going to cover some of my previous travel plans down south and some of the critters I saw. I also got out for a mule deer hunt. It's my only hunt of the season, to be honest, other than the sheep hunt. So sit back, relax, crack a cold beer, and enjoy episode 120 of Rookie Hunter. Beep.
That didn't feel good.
No. Kelly Molnar.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, just finished a day of work and get to do a little podcast in action.
Yeah, nice. It's a good way to end her off.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. We had some wild game over the weekend.
Yeah, really good.
You dig it?
Yeah, the mountain goat vindaloo tasted awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the curry tasted great. And then like on the side, I had the turkey legs, which was supposed to be an appetizer. And, you know, part of it could have been that they were still a little bit frozen.
Right.
And I had it on low instead of high. But I was expecting like 6 hours in the slow cooker. It ended up being like 10 hours. And you and I were talking about it, like, you know, sometimes you think, well, this experiment just isn't going to work and maybe I should stop the processing, you know, kind of give up on this because these things just aren't softening. And then we just thought, oh, we'll just let them go. If it takes till midnight, it does. So yeah. I think it was 8 o'clock in the evening and they finally started breaking apart. So I shredded them as you guys were leaving. And
yeah, I was stealing some little nuggets there from you. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was even better when I threw it all back in and then it sat in it for overnight in the fridge. And then like when you eat it and you throw the avocado and the radish and like some sour cream and stuff in there, it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. And the vindaloo was perfect.
Yeah. What'd you think of the meat?
I thought it was awesome. I didn't like, if you told me that was beef, I wouldn't even have batted an eye.
Yeah. Super tender and delicious. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried mountain goat just, you know, fried in a pan.
Yeah, I did. And it's just like venison, man. It's no different. Yeah.
Just a little wild tasting and
Just taste the same. It's
Yeah.
no different, really. I don't know. If you
Yeah.
lined them all up, you probably wouldn't be able to decipher the
Yeah.
difference between them. So yeah,
I mean, I can't think of an animal so far where we would have, reversed the clock, unpulled the trigger, and put it back where it
no,
was.
that hasn't happened to us, which is good. And I think part of that is, well, there's a few reasons. Like we take a lot of care in the field to make sure everything is very clean
Mm-hmm.
before it even comes out of there. And then the other thing is just really thinking about how we want to cook it, man, what the best way to approach it is with different, parts of the animal. And,
Yeah.
and I think, low and slow seems to be the way to do it.
In most
In a lot of
cases,
ways,
yeah.
unless you're dealing with like, I don't know, like a tenderloin or a backstrap or something
Or
like
that
that.
turkey breast or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. Nothing has ever been offensive to me or anybody who's tried it.
No.
Everyone's always enjoyed it, and I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just say, like, it sucks when somebody has a bad experience with wild game because it may have been not handled very well or wasn't cooked very well, and that's their first impression, or
Cooked over well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that too. People just write it off like that wasn't good.
Yeah,
But-
I'm never going to shoot a bear
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Somebody can cook a really shitty steak and it's like everybody's had a good steak, so they're
Yeah.
always going to have another one, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
anyways, so I hope that people just aren't turned off by someone's shitty cooking or field prep.
Yeah, the best meals I've had involve, like, if it isn't low and slow, if it's the other option, then you're keeping it medium rare as possible.
Yeah.
Even on the rare side, because, even if you have a steak and, like you say, you over well cook that steak,
Yeah.
it's just not good. It starts to take on like a leather boot kind of consistency, but also the taste gets much meatier. Like it kind of gets that gaminess even with the steak that you
Yeah.
pull out of the grocery store. So yeah, I've just don't cross that line. You don't have to kill it twice is what we've
Yeah,
heard.
exactly. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think people are, especially rookies, maybe a little bit cautious about like, oh, maybe I should, just push through and cook this thing. I'm a little nervous about taking it out right now. It's probably just take it out the first time you think you should.
Yeah, and like I early on overcooked a couple of things, and what I did was like just cut it up into small pieces, and then I actually like marinated the meat, even though it was already cooked, and then used it for taco meat. And it I don't know if it was just the marinade or whatever, but something kind of broke it down, and then being in smaller pieces, it was really good actually.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea with this turkey actually, because it's a pozole. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Meat eater recipe. But instead of like eating it like a soup all the time, I could strain some of that out and just take the meat that's been soaking in that like salsa verde type soup and make some wild turkey leg tacos and stuff too.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
definitely.
So what's the plan with the rest of the mountain goat? Are you going to make that again, or are you
I'll
trying?
probably try doing something different with it. I haven't
Yeah.
really decided what, but yeah, something along those lines. Curry is a pretty powerful flavor, right? So maybe something a bit more simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got backstrap, like I've got other backstrap and stuff too, saved from that. So
Nice.
yeah, I haven't really decided. And you've got a pack there too to try doing something with as well.
Do you have anything big, like hind quarter, like you could do a roast with?
I have a
I'm thinking slow cook and then maybe even.
yeah, I've got one on the bone. It's more of like a shank though. But
Shank, yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking like smoker.
yeah, I could do that in there for sure. Yeah. So that'll be good. But most of it just got cut up because of just the situation we were in. It was kind of easier just to pull everything off the bone and throw it in the pack to cut down on weight and everything else. So
It was easy to, I threw up a picture of that afterwards.
Yeah.
Of your meal there. Because we were eating at my place with Brie and Ash. And it wasn't hard to write up a caption for that photo. Just, we talked about it at my place. How many people do you think are eating mountain goat vindaloo right now? And the number is probably very small. And if you consider where that goat came from, it's probably the four of us.
yeah, probably.
In that particular day. So that's really cool. But then that kind of just spurs on more conversations at the table. You can't help but at least go into one story about that hunt.
Totally.
Like And you were kind of speaking to some of the funny aspects of it. And I don't know. It's just, that's pretty cool. It doesn't happen when you go to the grocery store. When you come back and you kind of make this event and meal out of this experience, it's pretty cool.
It's fun to share it, man.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, we'll see until the next wild game cookout.
Yep.
He gave me some stuff too. He gave me some sausages and some, was it garlic ring there? And
yeah. You can have some of this turkey. Like I got so many Tupperware containers full of this turkey
nice.
soup too, that if you want some, you can have some of that.
Sweet.
It's just like I'm freezing a whole whack of it. So
perfect. Sounds good to me. Sweet, man. Well, I went out for a hunt on, what day was that? What day was Halloween? Thursday?
I think so.
The 31st?
Was, yep.
And yeah, it was nice to get out, but didn't see anything but a couple of does. Unfortunately, a couple of muley does. There was an area, I've talked about this a few times, that I wanted to try and find this this whitetail that I had seen there every time I had hiked back there. And of course, no luck.
No luck.
Looked around. There wasn't even much for sign in the area. So I feel like everything's kind of moved up a little bit higher than where I was. But I've been gone for a couple of months here, basically. So all your scouting kind of goes out the window because things obviously change a lot in 2 months. But I just really wanted to go in there and kind of just be there, you know what I mean? So,
well, generally October is the hardest month for muley bucks.
Well, and it was the last day, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have been in there, so they're probably all a little gun shy. So
that was kind of what I thought might work in your favor, though, is given that the last day is the 31st, and then they shut it down because the rut starts. Is maybe you'd catch that window where a big 4-pointer was just strolling around.
Yeah, was my hope, was that I'd get lucky. It was funny when I found this, the first doe, and it was a decent sized doe, like definitely could have been a smaller buck or something like that. And her head was behind this tree for like 5 minutes. So I'm just waiting, like, please be a buck, please be a buck. And then finally she moved and no antlers. Shit.
Yeah.
Like I say, still fun. And then just for fun, I kind of crept down closer, and there was another one down below. So I was probably like, I don't know, 60 yards away from her, and she saw me, was just kind of looking at me and eating, and lay down behind this log and just, I don't know, would peek up at me every once in a while. Didn't really care that I was there.
I'm not in season.
Yeah.
Keep walking.
I know the seasons. Just fun to watch them, man. So I enjoyed that. I sat there for a good hour and hung out, and then, that was it. So nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Nice to just get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus it was, a sunny day.
So that's kind of it for my season. I might try and get out when I get back here, but we'll see. Late November.
Yeah, we'll maybe get out for some whitetail.
Yeah, man.
I'm still like, when we first started hunting and we went to that whitetail spot, I'd still like to go back there because there were some cuts where we found some bedding areas.
Yep.
And we found some trails that kind of like were around the perimeter.
Yep.
And a little funnel with a creek in the middle where we kind of set up shop originally, and that's also where I called in that big buck that one time. So who knows, maybe still crawling around out there.
Could be a monster at this point.
Might be one of those days where, we end up sitting around for a while, but we could do some exploring first and then maybe do that after and get the calls out. I found those 2 sheds, which I don't know if I even talked about.
No, you didn't, because I saw them in your house. Like, where the hell did those whitetail sheds come from?
Yeah. Whitetail, 3-point, nice looking little basket buck. And so I picked those up. That was on my bow hunt for muleys. And I just brought them home and thought they'd be perfect for rattling. And they look cool too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
So try those out.
Yeah. Wicked. What else you got coming up while I'm gone?
What do I have? I don't know, man. Probably not a whole whack of hunting. I have done quite a bit since James arrived mid-August there. Surprisingly more than I thought I'd be able to do. But yeah, I think at this point, it's just more looking in the freezer and seeing how I can experiment with that stuff. Like I still have a couple shanks you gave me from your muley last year.
Oh, nice.
So I want to follow through and do some oso buco with that. And just a lot of different species in there right now. So I think I'm going to focus more on the food aspect. And then in November, I'll do the whitetail thing, hopefully.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, man, it was kind of fun to just add the meat that you gave me to the freezer on Saturday there, Because there's black bear, there's mountain goat, there's mule deer, there's turkey.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to
I
have.
still have one elk roast.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Maybe that'll be part of the next wild cookout. So
Totally.
whenever your schedule is, and we'll figure something out with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not huge. It's like maybe a little bigger than softball size.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't remember where it was from exactly, but like part of the animal. But yeah, I've just been saving it. It's been a while. Like what year was that? 15?
I don't know.
15, 16, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
But I figured, it's wrapped, it's saran and then meat paper, and it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I haven't pulled anything out of the freezer like that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Apparently it keeps I don't know. I think it was Mark Hall that was telling us that it keeps for, I don't know. I thought he said like 10 years or something like that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It doesn't freezer burn in that. So
yeah,
we'll pull that out.
Sweet. Good stuff. Yeah, it's fun to kind of focus on the cooking, especially when you've got all that meat. It gets a little scary when the freezer gets a little empty, but yeah, when you
like what I dealt with all last season.
Yeah,
I had fish.
Yeah,
but there was like not a ton of meat in there other than your muley.
Yeah,
nice to focus on fish for a while too, but that's kind of used up. I'm getting supplemented by my father-in-law, my dad, so I get a little fish coming in here and there.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to load up a freezer full of fish again too.
Yeah. You got some news on the way here.
Oh yeah, my dad sent me a text today actually, which I wasn't expecting. But he just got finished his core program and he just got signed off. So he's officially done his core and he's looking at getting his PAL end of November.
Nice. Good job, Wayne.
Yeah, it's cool.
Welcome to the club.
So I think when we went out turkey hunting a couple times, I know that sparked his interest a bit.
But pretty stoked on that.
Yeah. But it's also just like, when I grew up, we did everything together really, like mountain biking, skiing and all this outdoor sports and camping and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So with me getting into this, I'm sure he wants to, get involved a little bit more. And the big one that he mentioned was with James in the picture now. Right. Obviously, I'm going to be bringing James out when he's like 5 and growing up after that. And he wants to be involved in that too. So, it's all good. I mean, you could technically do that without getting your core and your PAL, but it's nice that, I think he wants to get involved and like,
it's cool,
be the
man,
turkey shot and,
for sure. Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. And it's good. I think even if you're not a hunter to take the core.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We've talked about that before. Yeah.
In a place like BC, it's just good knowledge.
Yeah. Learn a lot about conservation and how everything works. And it's cool.
Good context.
Yeah.
So that's some fresh news.
Good.
We'll follow that.
He just wanted to surprise you. He didn't say anything about it before that.
He did it. I mean, I know he was interested after the turkey hunt there, but no, he didn't mention that he was going to take it or that he was in the process. So it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll keep following that, and I'm sure there'll be some good stories to come.
Yeah,
get him out for a few hunts,
a few podcasts, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I guess to switch gears a little bit, we mentioned on the last podcast that you were traveling and you were down in South America. So I think we should, we've kind of updated everybody on the season so far. So let's jump into that.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad because I don't really have a whole lot of like hunting stories to share. It's all just travel stories. But I spent some time on the East Coast back in September, and I had planned to do some fishing when I was in Newfoundland, but unfortunately the weather was just too bad to get out there. But we met with this old guy, and he had what's called a Jig's dinner, which is like just all this Newfie food, and so there's fish and this bird called tur. Have you ever heard of that? It's an ocean bird, and it's kind of got like a salty, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a really dark meat, but it almost has like this one did anyways, like a gamey sort of Venice-y, salty ocean taste to it. Yeah, that's the one. It almost looks like a penguin. So I can't remember what the bag limit is on these things. It's quite high, I think. So he had hunted a bunch of them and decided to cook one up for us, and it was pretty cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, if you were like, if that was your introduction to any kind of wild game, you might be turned off by it
Mhm.
because they don't like put it on a nice spread or anything. Basically, they just cook it in like pieces. I think you just boil it. Actually, I can't remember how he said he cooked it, and then just lay it all out. Yeah, there's big bag limits on them.
I'm just Googling photos of this because I never heard of these
Yeah.
things. But this guy has like what looks like a big egg container,
yeah.
but they're like PVC pipe, kind of like a rod holder.
Okay.
But instead of
it's
rods,
full of
it's just full of like upside down birds.
yeah. So I guess you like you just go out in your boat and you find these guys and you can shoot them. He said he uses a 12 gauge to shoot these birds, and he's man, how old was he? Late 80s, early 90s or something. This guy's still going out and fishing for cod and shooting tur and living right on the ocean. Pretty cool to see kind of the lifestyle. And this guy, he'd grown up there his whole life. So that's how he's sort of sustained himself in a lot of ways and seen a lot of different, a lot of things change, and the fisheries changed a lot. And he was telling me too that pensioners are actually allowed to harvest a certain amount of seals unless the quota is reached before a certain date.
Okay.
And they actually haven't been able to hunt seals for the last couple of years because there's already been too many harvested before that point, which is kind of a bummer for those guys because a lot of these guys are just scraping by out there, man, and rely on, food from the ocean. So it's pretty interesting. But unfortunately, we didn't get to go out and do any fishing, but learned a lot from this old guy, and he's a lot of fun. Just classic Newfie, could hardly understand a word he was saying, but pick up enough of it.
Sorry, did you say what he cooked with these birds? Like how he cooked them?
I think he boiled that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was good?
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a salty, gamey taste to it. I hate using the word gamey, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. It's not like anything else you would eat for. And it's a really dark meat. All of it is dark. So
interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. So pretty neat that this guy invited us in and cooked this huge dinner for us and all that. And then of course we had a ton of seafood. I mentioned we were going to go lobster fishing, so we had lined up this guy to go out in this boat. And so basically you go out, and the way I understood it was like we'd go out, we'd bring in some lobster traps, and then he's going to cook them on the boat for us. So he pulls up this trap, and the lobsters had bands on them. And of course he's laughing when he brought them up. He's like, yeah, it's not lobster season, but we've got a special permit to keep these guys down here in a closed trap, and we bring them up and sort of just poke fun at that's how they do it, right? So you're not actually lobster fishing, but anyways, it was good. They were fresh because they have them in a holding tank, and then they bring all those out earlier in the day and then just pull them up. So super fresh lobster, and all the shellfish out there was obviously just amazing, and that so it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And some people we should follow up with and talk to, because it's pretty interesting out east, and we spend a lot of time talking about issues in British Columbia, and there's a lot of similar problems out east as far as salmon and all that kind of stuff. Basically, they're forced to farm salmon over there and don't really have any other choice. So
yeah, well, they've had cases of species just disappearing.
Yeah,
cod and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So I think we should all be learning a lesson from those situations.
Yeah,
and look at steelhead and salmon over here too.
Yep. But for some reason, we don't seem to be learning any lessons, and we keep doing the same damn thing over and over again.
Exactly.
And then there's no fish left, and I don't know what the answer is, but we haven't figured it out yet, obviously.
Yeah, I think the federal government needs to
do something.
Do a lot there across the whole country.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to let steelhead go extinct. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that are pretty upset about that situation.
As they should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Topic for another podcast, I'd
Indeed.
say.
With an expert.
Yeah. Rather than two guys that have no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, from there I went down to South America, and again, trying to take in as much of the outdoors and wildlife as possible. These aren't hunting trips, but pretty interesting time to be in South America. If anybody was following the news, Chile's, kind of in an interesting spot right now with, inequality with the financial situation down there is pretty wild, man. There's a lot of super rich people, and the other side of that is people who are just scraping by. And while we were there, people just decided they had had enough, and there was protests and rioting and lighting buses on fire and cars and grocery stores and all this shit. They destroyed the metro station. And luckily we missed a lot of that in Santiago and headed for the coast, but there was a lot of that happening out at the coast and that too. But luckily we headed up north into the desert, and it's called San Pedro de Atacama, I think is how somebody's Spanish is like, holy fuck, buddy, you just butchered that.
Didn't sound bad.
But this desert, so this town is at just over 2,400 meters, which is like 7,900 feet above sea level. So like not super high, but like to put that into context, like the summit of Big White is only 2,300 meters. So this town is in a hot desert, but you're at the same height as the top of the summit of Big White, which is pretty cool. So you're way up there in elevation, and it's one of I think it's the hottest and highest desert in the world, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The place that we landed in is called Calama, and you go from there to San Pedro, and I think that's well above 3,000 meters. So you start to feel the effects of elevation pretty quickly, especially because we were coming from sea level by plane, and you're getting, dropped off in above 3,000 meters. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah. And then some of the places that we went and visited, because it's all like volcanoes and stuff that surround it. It's the Andes, is the mountain range that is along the desert there. And there's all these lagunas that you go into, and there's actually flamingos and stuff that, I don't know what they do there, if they're mating season or whatever, but they were full of them. And one of the ones that we went into was like, it was over 4,000 meters. So that's like above 13,000 feet. That's way the fuck up there.
That's high. Yeah.
So if anyone's been to Mauna Kea in Hawaii, where the observatory is, that's 4,200 meters. So that's about the same height. But you don't really feel like that because you're not really, because you're already so high up, and then you're driving, right? And you're sort of just gradually getting higher and higher and higher. But by going up to those elevations, man, we were just like wrecked. And they warn you about elevation sickness and stuff like that, which I found kind of interesting because I've never really experienced that too much. I know when Garrett and I were on the hunt, we were feeling a little bit, but we weren't like, I don't even know what elevation we would have been at going up into that saddle there. You might even know. But you definitely start to feel it, but not enough to really, it's just like you kind of short on breath a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think Alpine usually is around 7,000 feet, and then the mountains there went up to about 10,000.
Yeah, so up there pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so you obviously, you get better as you're going along, as you've been there for a week and stuff like that, but it takes a lot of time, and you're just dizzy, and not dizzy, but just tired, and you can't really sleep, and you got pounding headache and stuff like that. So it was kind of an eye-opener for me to like think about if we're doing any really high elevation hunts anywhere. I don't know where we might end up, to prepare for that and try and avoid some of those symptoms. And obviously it's good if you can go up high and come back down low, and then go a little bit higher and come back down, and sort of get yourself acclimatized that way. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever experienced any
I don't think I have
type stuff, but
not knowingly.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing too, is we were kind of like brushing it off as being like, oh, we probably just got too much sun, or we've been traveling too much and we're tired. But no, it was when I went and did some reading on it afterwards, like, yeah, that was all basically elevation sickness from being that high up there. But
interesting.
Yeah. But there's a ton of cool wildlife there, man. And maybe we can post some of the photos. I put some up on my Instagram, but we will put some up with this episode. But there's they're called guanaco, and they're related to the llama. So it just looks like a llama. They're pretty cool looking. The coats on them are really nice. And I was trying to find information on hunting and that. And I think in the southern part of Chile, you're able to, and in some other regions, and I think in Argentina, they might have stopped it completely because they might have been overhunted in that part of in South America. But anyways, I think farmers are able to harvest some of these guys in the fall because they're all over the place. And I guess obviously, you know how it works with farmers, and it's competition for range and all that kind of stuff. So But I don't know if they're good eating or what, but they're pretty cool critters, and there's a ton of them. And we encountered a fox chasing them around, and there was like this one alpha guanaco that was like chasing the fox back, and it was pretty wild to watch him, man. And kind of out there in the middle of nowhere in the desert with these critters and observing them is pretty cool.
It's cool though, because you say it's obviously not a hunting trip, but
yeah,
you're paying attention to all these things. So I think as an outdoorsman, it's cool to view this stuff around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, like, did you feel more resourceful being down there, having gone through like 6 years of hunting, like whether it's protests or like potentially you can't get money out or your groceries, you can't get into these stores.
Yeah.
Well, then you're in the desert and it's like, I don't know. I feel like you'd be a little more confident.
I think
resourcefulness.
Yeah. And I think hunting in a way, probably because it is travel and it's adventure and everything like that, you kind of have to go into these things, knowing that anything is possible and anything can happen, and to embrace whatever that is. So if it's going to, fly out of Dease Lake and being stuck there because of snow, that's the situation you're in, and that's going to be part of the story, and you just have to make the most of it and have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you don't want to be in dangerous situations that are threatening your life to a degree.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's that line that's fun, but nice to avoid it. But yeah, man, I think it prepares you for that type of stuff too. So
yeah, for sure.
And then what else did I see? Rhea, which is like, it's related to the ostrich and the emu. They're kind of cool looking critters too, and they're bumming around. They're all huge. And you commented like, does everything have a long neck down there? Because it's flamingos and the ostriches and llama things there. And yeah, they all seem to have big long necks. I don't know what's up with that, but
I wonder if it has to do with just everything being flat.
Could be, yeah.
Because how else I can't imagine you're going to see much with an extra couple feet on your shoulders, but maybe
it helps see those fox.
I'm thinking like camels and ostriches and giraffes.
Yeah.
They all have long necks.
They do.
Or they have to eat up top. Like maybe they're not eating off the ground. I don't know. Like top.
Well,
what's the trees like?
There's no trees.
No trees.
Well, there is some down like in the lower, like at the sort of like at the 2,400 meter mark, like where the town is and stuff.
Maybe they're snatching birds out of the air.
But they're all with their heads down, just like eating out of the same with the Rhea. They're all kind of just going through, pecking away at the greenery and that. So
interesting.
Yeah, fun to see. And those mountains, man, are just gnarly. They're some of the coolest. Like, I always go places that I'm comparing things to BC, because I think BC is like one of the coolest places in the world. And it's rare that I'm like, whoa, these mountains are probably maybe almost cooler than the ones in BC, probably because they're just so much higher and they look so much different. And there's all these different colors because you got the salt flats. So there's like white and blue and pink and gray and all these wild colors, man. So pretty neat.
Cool.
I would definitely recommend spending time there. And I've never really been in a desert like that. And I don't know, I just love it, man. It's sort of a unforgiving place is probably the best way to put it, because if you got stuck out there, I don't know how I would survive, man. Wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. You grow a long neck.
Yeah, that's the only way to survive.
Why? We don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty cool, man. So that was that trip in a nutshell. It's pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I've seen quite a few pictures, but I don't think I've seen all of them. So looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get a few of those up. And yeah, some of there's like the Valley of the Moon and Death Valley and Mars Valley and all that, because it looks like you're on the friggin' moon, or it looks a lot like what you'd expect Mars to look like, really, when you see pictures that are sent back from those rovers and that. It looks exactly like that. It's pretty trippy, man. And
nice.
These wild sand dunes that like, they kind of mess with your eyes the way they look, and the size of them is hard to sort of grasp when you're standing in front of them. It's weird. But yeah, amazing, man. So I definitely recommend people want to go to South America to spend some time down there. It was pretty awesome.
Did you tent?
No, we were planning to do Patagonia, but we figured we'll go back one day. And so Patagonia is in Argentina and Chile. It's sort of at the southern tip there, and go back and spend, do a trip focused down there and do some backpacking. And because we figured because Chile's it's so long, man. It just stretches forever. And like,
Yeah.
you know, to fly to one tip to the other it's a long distance, and to drive, it's not even, it would take you multiple days. It's massive. Very like thin, but it's super long. And to pack Patagonia into there, it would have been like rushing down there, spending a few days and having to leave. It's kind of like, why don't we just go somewhere up to this San Pedro and spend more time up there, come back another time and actually do some proper backpacking in Patagonia? Because I don't know, it would have felt like a tease to just go there and be in there and out of there. Not much time.
Yeah. So. You just in a car the whole time, or a plane or whatever.
Yeah, you'd just be flying around the whole time or driving. So
nice.
Next time. Yeah.
People were all good.
Super friendly. Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone's like apologizing because of the rioting and stuff like that. It's like, it's not your fault. But yeah.
Nice.
It is what it is. And it makes you grateful to live here. That's for sure. And I don't know, you come back and see what some people are complaining about. It's like, it's not that bad here. So,
yeah, I mean, it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that people don't agree with, or that we don't agree with, or whatever. But
just remind yourself
we have a pretty good balance.
Pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Sounds like we're going to get Kyle in here this week.
It sounds like Thursday.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Vancouver for a few days, and then I'll come back that day. And I think I'm here early enough where we won't be too close for like, you know, switching into podcast mode and get his perspective and story on the mule deer hunt.
Cool.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Listen to a little bit of the audio with you.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then my parents are coming up this weekend, but you're heading out on Sunday, right?
Sunday. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm going to go see some polar bears next week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Churchill,
Manitoba. More on that when I get back. I get to blow all.
Can you fly directly there?
Well, it's sort of. We're going to take a train up there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then fly back down to Winnipeg.
Yeah, Polar Express,
baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
So that should be interesting, and I'm going to learn lots about polar bears while I'm over there. So I'm sure I'll have lots to talk about, and I'm going to definitely be meeting some people that I would like to have on the show at some point. So
nice.
Hopefully we can follow up on that at some point down the road.
Okay.
Cool.
Get the business cards.
Yeah, that we don't have. Just
you have to get theirs
piece of paper with my name on it.
Yeah.
But cool, buddy.
Cool. Well, until next time.
Yeah, hopefully see you end of the week here.
Cheers.
Cheers. This episode of Rookie Hunter was brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Sitka Gear, and North Arm Knives. As always, it is hosted by Kelly Mullner and myself, Mike Peterson. It is recorded, edited, and produced at Mountain Stream Audio Productions in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia. Original music written by the one and only Kelly Mullner with help from Graham Ord, Darcy Booth, and Chip Sleedermean. If you want to help us out, there's one thing you can do. You can go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from and leave us a 5-star rating and a review. And don't forget to subscribe. For more on the show, head over to our website, therookiehunter.com.